Hello fellow coders, welcome back to another exciting coding challenge video. I am Abdul Latif and today we've got an interesting challenge in store. We are going to tackle the stringing problem where we need to create a string of alternating ones and zeros, always starting with a 1 based on a given size. So the task is write me a function stringy that takes a size and returns a string of alternating ones and zeros. The string should start with a 1. A string with size 6 should return 10 10 10. So with size 4 should return 10 10. So with size 12 should return this. The size will always be positive and will only use whole numbers. So this is a simple challenge though. For we to solve this, we need to first understand what the problem is all about. From the instruction on my screen here, so it says we are going to have a function which will take a parameter of a certain size, and we need to return a string where it will be alternating ones and zeros depending on that size. So for example, if the size is 4, so we need to return a string of alternating ones and zeros where the first number will be what? 1, the second number will be what? 0, and the next one will be 1 and the next one will be 1. Since we have the size is 4, so what we need to have it to should be what? 4. Alright, let's dive into the code. So let me comment this out. So actually I should delete it because of space. You are going to see I'm going to put the link to my GitHub where you can find the instruction of this problem, of the challenge, and my solution. So now we want to solve this using Ruby def, then the name of our function, let's say stringy, and it's going to have a parameter of size. Now we've defined our method, and the first thing we need to do is, since we are going to be returning a string, let's create a new string and make it empty. Next we need to loop based on a certain size given. So we can use size dot times. We can use the times method on the number on the size we are given. So then we create a block. Let's use X. So the next we need to check is we need to check for if statement. We can say if X modulus 2 is equals to 0, then I should add to the string. What am I going to add to the string? I'm going to add the first element. I'm going to add 1 to the string, because 1 should be the starting point of the alternating ones and 0. So we have 1. Else means if it is not, equals to 0, then we are going to add the string 0 to the new string. Then the next we are going to do, we are going to return our new string. So what I did here is that I looked through this number 6. So for example, if this is 6 or 4, so this method is going to loop 4 times. So this method is going to loop 4 times, and for each of this loop I'm going to have 1. So for example, it's going to start from 0. For example, the first loop will be what? 0, and if I should check, 0 modulus 2 will surely going to be equals to 0, so it means we are going to have 1 for our first loop. Then the next loop, this will become 1, and 1 modulus 2 will not be 0, so it's going to come to the else block and run this. So until we finish the loop. So let us test our code. We can use the p method to call this the method, and we want to use 4. So let me reduce the zoom. So now let us test our code. Control alternate N. Good. Can you see now? We have 1 0 1 0. Let us try for another number, for another size. Let us use 6. Save. Then control alternate N. Good. We have 1 0 1 0 1 0. So you can see our code is working, but we can still refactor this code. We can still refactor this code. If you check very well, we have size dot times do x, and in this we have if statement, if else, and this if else is just like we are just using if and else. We are not using if else else. We are not using if else block. We are just only using if else. So we can replace this if else statement into with a ternary operator. So how can we do that? Let me comment this out first, because I will still use some of the code. So I can say, let me copy this. I can say this. This is the same thing with what. So this means x modulus 2 is equals to 0. Means if x modulus 2 equals to 0, then let me return this. So if not, if not, that means if it is not equals to 0, then I should return this. So let us save and check if our code, if we are still going to have the same answer. Let us clear this and run again. Good, we have the same answer. So I can see we've reduced the lines of code. We've reduced our lines of code, and also we can also still refactor this code by using just one line instead of adding new string like this. Instead of having do block, we can just remove the do and use curly braces. So you can use curly braces instead without using the do block. But if you are using the curly braces, it means you are going to write the code on one line. But if you want to write on multiple lines, you use the do block. So let me save and clear this part and rerun my code. Our code still have the same answer. Now, there are always multiple ways to approach a coding challenge, and I actually have another solution for this problem. You can find it in my GitHub repository, and I have dropped the link in the video description below. I encourage you to check it out and see if you can understand how it works. But here is the real challenge for you, our awesome viewers. Can you come up with your own solution to the stringy problem? Give it a shot. Try different approaches, experiment with your code, and share your solutions in the comment section below. Let's learn from each other and see the creative way you all can solve the challenge. That's it for today's coding challenge. We tackled the stringy problem, discussed an initial solution, and introduced the idea that there are other ways to solve it. Remember to check out my GitHub repo for an alternative solution. And don't forget to share your own solutions in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe for more coding challenges and solutions. Happy coding everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.